This is Roland. This is a rehearsal in the St. Luke's Auditorium of the finest hospital in the Philippines. We're going to address CEOs and HR executives here in Makati. And I'm going to talk about organization development in the new day, whole system transformation. And this is the agenda. I'm going to give a wake-up call. We're going to do some table work, some interaction about how they can apply this. Then we're going to have a room dialogue. And I want to mention a thank you to Freddie, who is the HR executive here at this wonderful hospital. They want to be one of the leading hospitals in the world in terms of research and service. And Rick, who is the #1 change agent in the Philippines, has been. He started the San Miguel organization development function. It's the longest going function in the world outside the United States. Rick couldn't be here because he's busy. And then at the end, I'm going to mention maybe 50 resources and probably 50 videos of my lifetime work of 50 years of coming to my conclusions. So first of all, I want to say this to the Philippines. So, you have incredible potential as the Philippines. You are last year, the #1 most viable financial growing country, emerging country in the world. This year, you're #2. You've got some of the finest educated people who can speak English. English is going to be the world new language. And you've got some of the workers that are just the best in the world here. And besides, you've got a lot of women leaders, and we know that women, Asian women, are going to rule the world by the end of the century because they can deal with change. Men can't. Now, I want to give you the wake-up call. I was with 100 executives, the top HR executives in Minnesota, from Cargill, from Best Buy, General Mills, and so forth. I was the only consultant in the room. My client, who was the internal consultant at 3M, who was running the meeting, so he let me come. And the Chicago Council Research Group was there. They spent millions on research of what's going to go on in the world. And this is what they discovered. #1, Japan is just about dead. They're probably never going to make it long term. Europe is #2. Greece, Spain, I know I've been there. They're asleep over there in Europe. #3, in trouble is the United States. Now, guess what they said? Southeast Asia is going to rise the fastest, the quickest. And after that, it's going to be China and India. You people are going to lead the world, not South America, not Europe, not the United States. And so this is what I want to say. I've said this I have said this to every group I've addressed and every client I've talked to since 1969. When I first read it in one of the first books on change, Organization Development, by Warren Bennis, consultant to 4 U.S. presidents. He says we are about to enter an epoch of a dizzying rate of change. Well, I'm telling you, I just discovered that this year is the time I really have discovered it, and you're going to see later how I can verify that. But this is what I said. More change is going to happen the rest of your lives than the beginning of civilization 4,500 years ago. Just you're holding your camera, you look to be about 30 years old. The rest of your life, more change is going to happen. Since 4,500 years. Get on, hang on to your hat. Here we go, Philippines, Southeast Asia. So, this is what I want to say. This is from Kurzweil, from MIT, where organization development first came, with Kurt Lewin. Google it. I've given you 25 resources from him to look up to see if I'm talking through my head or not. This is what he's saying. We will not experience 100 years of progress as we know progress. In the 21st century, it will be more like 20,000 years of progress. I cut it in half. Think about that. You can't imagine what's coming. There's going to be no poverty here in Manila. In this country, there's going to be no disease. It's happening, folks. Now, the response to this right now in the world is change management. Billions are being spent on it. It's not effective. It's irrelevant, says the new research from USC. OD. The Philippines have more people educated in OD than anybody outside the United States. From AIM and from Ateneo and De La Salle and the University of the Philippines. It's archaic. It's no longer, can you do a little team building? Can you do a little coaching? You can do a little problem solving in training sessions. Dead. Gone. CEOs, in the research I've seen, want transformation. I'll talk about what that is more later. And they want organizational agility. Because Drucker just met. He's passed away. His 2,500 disciples just met in Vienna. They had a conference called the Great Transformation. And it essentially says, Gary Hammer, they probably the most prestigious HR person in Europe, said, we just had a conference and we don't have a clue about how to lead transformation. And we must do it, or we're not going to survive. The IBM research says the same thing about agility. Look it up. CEO IBM research. Agility, nimbleness, that's the big thing. You're a CEO. If you're not going and creating agility, your board better start thinking about getting rid of you. I want to give you my solution. You're all not going to be able to do this the way I do it, but I'm giving you the principles. You're going to have to figure out how to do this yourself because there's just one of me. Okay? And it's just starting to write the book on it. I've given you 50 resources. Let me define whole. Whole in the Old Testament means Yahweh, excellence, God. I saw the mission statement or the vision statement in this hospital, and I had the word excellence in it. So whole means getting the whole organization to excellence. Every part of it, the people, the technology, the janitor, the patients, the customer, that's whole. Everything. My body is whole. The veins are connected to the head is connected to the heart. System means the mechanism. A system is something comes in, is transformed, changed, and it goes out. Manufacturing is a great example. Transformation means a shift, a magic release, a change in character, a change in mindset, a radical leap. Everybody in India is using the word leap. We want our organization to leap forward. Transformation is exponential change. The butterfly comes from the caterpillar. It can't go back. WST, Whole System Transformation, is a dynamic, holistic journey designed to help leaders engage the critical mass in the moment, real time, to create a permanent. The caterpillar becomes the butterfly the caterpillar becomes the butterfly. Permanent, positive shift. Come on, a butterfly is better than a caterpillar. Of aligned, committed people, everybody in the organization in the hospital who executes the chief executive's aspiration to reality. We've got to have strong leadership, and it's got to be deeper, faster, cheaper than ever before. So WST is a tested approach. I have 50 years of experience. And the outcome is to increase financial value. That's when I'm in the United States. When I'm in Asia, it's to eradicate poverty at the same time. It's to have happy employees. It's to do something to save the earth. Southeast Asia is ahead of the United States in their values. Your leap year is ahead of our values. And the other one, you can read those next two. But this is a strategic response to the fast-changing business challenges that we're going to face. I'm working with a neighboring country. They're going to go through transformation. They have a transformation officer. They're going to go from 10 million to 35 million to 100 million customers in 5 years. And if you little ones are going to get eaten up if you don't change. Here are the 7 essentials. Leadership. The internal change agent is key. The design team is important. I'll talk about that. And then summits. Big meetings. This room setup came from the summits that we first did at Ford. We put these numbers on tables. This is the way we set up our meetings in the 70s at Ford and Boeing. It's about engaging the people and sustainment, long-term, and measurement.